This is not actually what this book is about, but it does give you a warning about taking invasive species other places. Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kat and today I would like to talk about The Darkness Outside Us by Eliot Schrefer. In the story, Ambrose wakes up on a spaceship. He is en route to save his sister Minerva, who has been sent to Jupiter's moon Titan and has activated a distress beacon after being out of contact for quite some time. Aside from an operating system that uses his mother's voice, there's only one other person on the ship, Kodiak, who has been sent by, say, the opposing government. The Federation and Democratia are in a kind of Cold War state, but because this mission is so important, they decided to actually work together on this one, so we have Ambrose, Kodiak and the operating system on the ship. I will try to do this without too many spoilers, but if you want all of these spoilers, then there will be a book discussion for the Genre Soup book club at some point towards the end of the month, I think. So there you can see all of the spoilers. Ambrose is quite a fun character to follow. You see the whole story from his perspective, and the way he hassles and heckles Kodiak into actually hanging out with him and spending time with him is quite hilarious at points. Ambrose and Kodiak are supposed to be very opposing characters, like with many opposing character traits, and that comes out quite well, because Ambrose is the chattier one and also seems to be far less competent as far as the spacecraft is concerned, because Kodiak seems to be doing all of the jobs that need doing, like all of the repairs. That all seems to fall to Kodiak. I'm not sure how they decided that Ambrose is really fit to go into space, because I don't feel like he contributes all that much towards their journey. You get a couple of chapters into this book and you will, if you've ever read any other sci-fi story, then you will have a good guess at some of the things that are in store for Ambrose and Kodiak. But some of the twists are not as dark as my brain painted them to be. So that's nice. The center of the story is really the love story between Ambrose and Kodiak, because they both have to overcome quite a few things. I mean, okay, Ambrose is instantly horny for literally anybody and everybody. It's a bit strange, but aside from Ambrose instantly being hot for Kodiak, they have to overcome quite a few things to actually become a couple. Now, I can't say much more about their love story without giving away major things, but let's just say the development left me with a couple of questions and the distinct feeling that, given the way those two behave, this love story would have been far more likely on like a school trip or being stranded somewhere else. I see why they would have to be in complete isolation to actually find their way to each other, because as soon as you introduce other people into this mix, I feel like they would not be forced to hang out as much and therefore this would not happen. But let's just say I have real questions about Ambrose actually being competent and equipped enough to be sent into space. It's worth noting that his mom also runs the corporation that contributed most of the tech for this journey, so there's a good deal of nepotism involved. It's not like he's a complete knobhead or anything, but let's just say if you say astronaut to me, then I expect more of that person than I see from Ambrose. And as far as the invasive species goes, it actually made me wonder whether there will be a second book, because they pick something up in space at some point, keep it on the spacecraft and then take it different places or to a different place. I'm just like, this is gonna be bad. And given the state of their spacecraft towards the end of their journey, it is bad, but apparently not bad enough to be bothered for those two. I mean, they don't really have time to be bothered about it towards the end of the book, but still, I feel like they might have ruined a whole ecosystem there. Okay, I have to add a small spoiler section because otherwise I can't even talk about some of these bits. So the first time you encounter Ambrose, it doesn't take him too long to get very suspicious of the operating system and instantly pull Kodiak into his theories. And at that point, I mean, you as the reader already know, okay, something is happening here. But I feel like from Ambrose's perspective, he's maybe slightly too paranoid. And I don't see too many clues in there that would actually give him reason to be this suspicious of the operating system. But he is, and even more baffling, Kodiak is also instantly up for considering it. Really weird, but okay. Then Ambrose, as I said, doesn't really strike me as all that capable, and when he wakes up, he's alone for less than 24 hours, and he kind of loses his shit over, oh my god, I will lose my mind over loneliness. I'm just like, dude, there's another person on the ship, you just haven't talked to him yet, and it's been less than a day and you're already freaking out. So I'm not sure how they did the psychological evaluation for the astronauts on this trip, but I feel like Ambrose wouldn't have actually passed. And then it won't take you long to take a guess at like, oh, clones are involved, aren't they? And yes, they are. But the thing that I said, that it gets a little less dark than I first assumed, because resources on the ship are very, very limited. So my mind went to, oh my god, it's Soylent Green crossed with cannibalism. But it's not. It's not. They don't eat their own clones, at least. So there's that. And then I think the biggest problem for me was whenever they go to the next clone, they leave themselves messages to make their next version understand, hey, you're actually a partner of the other spacefarer and you're a team and you're totally in love with him. And it's like, well, if I read such a journal entry or video entry of myself telling me like, hey, you're totally dating this person over there, I would still be like, okay, but I do not have the same experiences as this clone. I do not feel the same way as this clone, so you could argue that because they are in isolation, there's literally nobody else around, that because they are both interested in each other to begin with, okay, this might have happened in virtually any iteration given enough time, but I don't know. You have to, or I had to suspend my disbelief there a bit more. So if you like some sci-fi with your love story, then this might be the book for you. As long as it doesn't bother you too much that Ambrose is not as helpful as he should be in the situation. Let's just say with the world building, it left me with some questions that I will probably never get answered, but the love story in it by itself was cute. They both have a certain sass about them that makes reading it quite enjoyable, so overall I would say it's this cat. And if you like your love story with two guys in space, then this might be for you. Let me know in the comments what your favorite story playing in space is. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to help this channel out, and I'll be back next week with another video. Bye folks!